Broadcasting live from sunny South Florida, and the best way to start your Saturday. This is KMA Talk Radio. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of fine cigars. Your KMA crew, the Italian scallion Paul DeGracco, the man with the scoop, William Cooper, Alex the Goat Tavella, and always telling it like it is, honest Abe DeBatna.
I like to smoke them like the Winston Churchill, like John Kennedy, yeah. Remember Coach Red Auerbach, pumped up for victory, yeah. Well, you can take my wife, you can take my car, but you can't take my big cigar. My cigar.
Good morning to all our loyal listeners, libertarians, and lovers of the leaf. Honest Abe here, ready to kick off our Saturday mornings with the KMA crew. Along with me today is the man they call the GOAT, Alex Tavella, and of course the guy bringing us all the news all the time, rumor and teaser free, William the Scoop Cooper.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. Wait, someone's missing?
Shocker.
Three's company. You
Three's
know,
company.
and it's actually fitting because, you know, we were saying last week, Paul had a 2-0 lead on you. You were out 2 weeks. Paul was here, and then
Paul has a lifetime deficit that he can never come back from.
Sure enough, you fell off, and
The message came in Wednesday. The message comes in.
Yeah,
And I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I think he's at Disney.
Yeah,
he's
that's
at
confirmed.
Disney.
That's confirmed. Yes.
So.
A last minute Disney
Yeah,
trip got put on him.
Yeah, a surprise gift is the way he.
Yeah.
He,
Surprise.
Yes, surprise.
Surprise, yeah. Like,
Surprise.
we're just
in Disney.
packing up 2 kids and going to Disney. I'm not loaded.
That's a hell of a surprise. He
That's
really lives on the edge for a guy with 2 kids. So
Yeah,
Wednesday,
exactly.
I just figured out, surprisingly, I'm going to Disney.
Yeah.
A little suspicious.
A little suspicious, yeah.
Well, before we get in the thick of things, let's kick off the show properly. Tell everybody what we're smoking. Our listeners out there posting it. Let's see what you're lighting up to this morning for KMA Talk Radio. What you got, Coop?
I'm going with the cigar from Blackwork Studio, the Intergalactic. And I tell you what, I'm just really impressed with what James has been doing with these brands lately.
No, they're doing really good stuff. Been very, very much enjoying their lines.
Yeah, I am too.
Go.
I'm smoking another. I smoked this the other week. I'm smoking a Perdomo 30th Connecticut, but I'm actually doing the Churchill. Coop mentioned on the show that he's really impressed with the way Perdomo handles Churchills and torpedoes, and that's 2 sizes I normally don't smoke. So I said, you know what? Maybe I'll give the Churchill a go.
Yeah, give it a
How
go.
about you? I saw you digging in your. I saw you digging in your cabinet, Abe.
A lot of Stillwell Holiday out there today. You know what? That's a good morning smoke right there. I like that.
What's that? Wagashi?
Yeah.
That is a good morning smoke.
I like that. That's good. Just posting some of our listeners what they're lighting up. So I dug in. Look at the color. Look at the color. I think this definitely wasn't the ones I think he made for TGS. I think this is a prototype he sent me before the original release.
Yeah, I think that they are the ones.
Look how yellow the white.
Yeah.
The white is on there.
They were prior too.
And I'm lighting this up because in less than a month will be the newest rendition of Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust's TGS exclusive. So if you've gotten your TGS ticket, Great Smoke ticket, if you don't know what it's about, go to greatsmoke.com. Literally one cigar event that no one who's a cigar lover should miss, whether you're going to watch it from home virtually or come live. But every year we have some companies make special releases, and Steve Saka right now is the only manufacturer who has done one every year since we started doing it, and it's sold out every year since we started doing it. And his release will be, talked about very, very soon. It's cleared customs. We'll have it in our possession very shortly, and that will drop on the 3rd at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We do a little broadcast with Steve, and during that, we're also just going to roll into our Holidays with Saka giveaway, epic giveaway, win some epic shit. We're just going to give that away right during that broadcast. So I lit up in EX127.
Nice.
I'll tell you what's been cool for me lately, because I've been so caught up the last month or two, and we all have. So, like, well, obviously the Advent calendar with 25 cigars, there's no way to remember. But even the Hanukkah calendar, I don't remember like what is what day. So it's almost like I'm finding out again when I see the post of what's in there and what's what. So it's been kind of cool for me too, because I
like the calendar because it was very special to me. It was our first one. I put 2 years into it, and I really worked to get really 9 special cigars in that one. I got that one memorized.
I know it's.
I made the cards. I made the cards. I stuffed the cards. The family, Brandy tied the ribbons. So
yeah,
I got that one memorized. But sometimes they'll bring up the Advent calendar, and like I can remember like 3 slots in the Advent calendar.
Right. So yeah, that's been kind of cool.
That's a lot of fun.
I promise you both, people are going to be very, very. I mean, listen, from the posts I've seen, everybody's been extremely happy, which is what we always look for in a project like this. We want people to be excited and happy, but when they get to the last days of each one, I think it's going to put it over the top for everybody.
Absolutely.
It's been great the last couple of years, I can tell you that.
My only hint with the Hanukkah was that the last cigars is worth the value of the box.
Literally, it literally is. So.
Well, I wonder if I can guess what it is. Is that a special blend, that last one, or is it a blend that's out?
No, it's special, all right.
Okay.
It's probably a unicorn of unicorns.
There we go. That's what I thought. That's what I was thinking.
So yeah, that people are going to be real happy. Yeah. In fact, I got a feeling once that gets out there, there's going to be a surge on whatever's left. So
yeah,
I think people come back just to buy it to get the 8th day cigar.
I agree. I definitely agree.
So I was a little preoccupied last night. I missed the broadcast, but you two seem to be like the official bracket boys. The Dojo bracket. Now the Dojo bracket boys.
We're the bracket crew. Yeah. So I think this one, I don't think there was any big shockers in there, Coop.
There were some close matchups. There was some no shockers. It was some close matchups. Some things that didn't go preference-wise for us, but in the end, I don't think this was like an abomination by any means.
I just want to say something before we go deeper in this, because this is important to me, right? So, here's Matt asking how kids have been excited for presidents. You know what I think it's cool? I think it's cool for the first time. There's a lot of excited adults for Hanukkah.
I agree.
I think it's great.
Right?
It's
usually, the kids get the gifts and whatever, but there's so many adults I'm seeing that are excited about Hanukkah because of the Hanukkah box. I love that.
I grew up, my dad was Jewish and all that, so I could tell you that it was always a kid's thing with the family. It wasn't an adult.
Of course
thing.
it is.
And it is something.
Outside of the religious significance, it's good time for the kids.
Yeah, but it is something for the adults. You're right.
So it's cool. It's cool too to see people, that maybe don't normally deal and celebrate in Hanukkah kind of get in on the Hanukkah fun.
Yeah, man. We're bringing religions together. It's awesome.
It's awesome. I think it's great. I think it's wonderful.
In fact, I had to correct one of our socialites today. They were making a menorah out of they put like a wooden plank on the Hanukkah box, and we're putting the candles up. And I told him it's left to right because he started with the day 1 and day 2 over on the right side. But I think it's awesome, man. I really do. Very proud of it, and it's something we'll definitely bring back next year.
Great.
It's gonna be hard to top this year with the cigars, but something we'll definitely bring back next year. You that first one, you're so worried about it, so you put all this effort in, but sometimes the bar gets too high. You're like, shit, what are we going to do next year for this thing?
Yeah,
holy cow. So, do you have any images of the brackets and whatever?
Yeah, I do. I knew
there were some choices, so I don't know. What the final consumer picks were.
So it's kind of hard to see. I think here. I don't know.
Yeah, this was very hard to read. I saw his post.
Yeah, it's hard, but because you're trying to get the film posters in, and it's kind of small. So the first choice was in that upper left tier here. The first consumer choice. What was it? It was the Grinch. Jim Carrey's The Grinch.
Yeah, versus Year Without a Santa Claus.
Versus Year Without a Santa Claus. Year Without a Santa Claus.
I don't even know that movie.
Well, Cold Miser and Heat Miser. You have to.
No, what's Cold Miser and Heat Miser?
I'll show you. Let me pull a picture, and you'll.
Maybe
know.
I'm just not recognizing it from that movie poster.
This was actually heavy. This was on Coop's list.
I love that. This is one of my all-time favorites. Yeah.
So let me pull up Heat Miser real quick.
Which
Abe,
I'm surprised because Abe, you're in the age range for this one. I think you might just be forgetting this one. I'm not saying you like it or not, but there it is.
Oh yeah. I recognize him right away.
Yeah.
That's
He's
Wow,
one of
that did not look like the movie poster at all. The movie poster looked like a guy and a girl. I couldn't.
Well, it's Santa Claus because
Hold on. Are you talking? Wait, go back to that bracket. I want to make sure we're talking about the same one. Are you talking about?
No. It's not in there. It's not in. It would have been next to the Grinch, but when they when the
I don't know the one they're talking about. What's the one that won? Is that It's a Wonderful Life?
No. So in the play-in round, A Year Without Santa Claus went up against Jim Carrey's The Grinch, and the Grinch won.
And the Grinch won
in an audience vote. Yeah.
Right, and that went against It's a Wonderful Life. Is that what number one is? Okay.
Yes.
I just want to see what the bracket is. I want to see how respectable these picks.
Yeah.
were.
So then you had moving down. You had the Santa Claus versus Santa Claus Is Coming to Town.
Yes.
That was that next bracket down.
Yeah.
All right. Then you have Home Alone.
Then you have Home Alone, and Home Alone. Actually, I think I have the bracket on my desk somewhere. I can.
Wow, Home Alone beat Miracle on 24th Street, huh?
On 34th Street. Yeah,
I fought for that one. Miracle, yeah.
Miracle on 34th Street went up against Polar Express in the play-in round.
Yeah.
All right, that's respectable. Next one, what? Frosty the Snowman versus
Frosty versus Christmas Vacation.
Yeah,
right, that's good.
Yep.
Okay. And then if we head over to the top right,
Die Hard didn't make it far, man. Everybody says Die Hard's the
so Die Hard was in a play-in. Die Hard was in a play-in with Gremlins
and
for
won.
the studio audience. And
Gremlins.
So look, so I get it here because this was the controversial one, as Abe would say. Neither one of them.
This was their plan to start a riot. Is that what it is?
Yeah. They were trying to stir that whole thing up. Yeah.
So in fairness, I think we all agree that Die Hard isn't really a Christmas movie, but there is a subculture of the world that swears by Die Hard as the greatest Christmas movie.
For some people, it is the ultimate Christmas movie.
Right. But
it's the people who have it's a small group making a lot of noise on this is what I see, and that's what came out last night. I think with our crew.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, why wouldn't Die Hard be a Christmas movie?
Listen, it takes place during Christmas, but that is about it. It has nothing to do.
Nothing about Christmas.
It's nothing about. I mean, listen. Our argument was like, Goodfellas had a Christmas party scene. Does that make it a Christmas movie?
Rocky IV was the same.
It was during Christmas. It isn't necessarily a Christmas movie. So yeah, Die Hard made it in against Elf, which Coop and I are on the same page. It's just a dopey. Bad movie.
So let me ask you this question then. Under that parameter, would Home Alone qualify?
Yes.
Why?
Home Alone is more Christmas. It's the kids alone during Christmas time.
It's not about Christmas.
No, but it is. Listen. Die Hard isn't about like Christmas at all. It just so happens that the date around the movie, like besides like they're at a Christmas party, there's no Christmas about it. I mean, Kevin's alone during Christmas time, and then trying to get his family, and his family comes home for Christmas, and Christmas Day,
that's a gray area.
The big buildup is that they make it home on Christmas Day and find Kevin. So listen, it's debatable. Home Alone is on the edge.
I think it's just so overplayed at this point. It is. I was just like last night. I just said, I just want to get. I didn't want it in there because I just didn't want to deal with it again.
Alan, I didn't say Home Alone's not a Christmas movie. What I said is, if you're going to count out Die Hard, does Home Alone fall in that same parameter? Okay, so clean out the wax, brother. Listen to the dialogue.
He's having a rough morning.
All right.
So moving down the line is actually my favorite that I didn't think was going to make it past the Grinch, but it was Scrooge versus
Love Scrooge.
I backed Scrooge. I was in the Scrooge camp on that one too.
You did.
Great movie. Yeah.
Then of course we had a Christmas Story, which of course had to be in there.
So here's my thing. Just look at this bracket, right?
Yeah.
If you're gonna pick a Grinch theme movie, you should pick the best one, and that's the one that gets entry. I said
that's why
on the left.
But that's why Jim Carrey was a play-in. Jim Carrey was a play-in.
We were like, but I didn't know why Grinch had two spots in this.
But yeah, we were all in agreement that the original Grinch is.
You should just pick a Grinch movie, and that's the one that gets entered. And if that's a play-in
Right.
one, that's a play-in
Right.
one. But yeah, a Grinch shouldn't be there, in my opinion.
But then we had another play, and it was Bad Santa versus Jingle All the Way. This was kind of the battle of the bad movies.
Yeah.
Of
I
which
don't know. I like Jingle All the Way, but I like both of these movies. I like both.
Bad Santa made it in.
Bad Santa made.
And the last one was two classics: Charlie Brown Christmas versus Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
That was probably one of the closest battles.
Yeah, but neither one of
Yes.
those two had a chance.
Agree.
In the long haul, yes.
I know
Yes.
Alex and I were on opposite sides with this one. I was in the Rudolph camp. I think Alex, you were in the Charlie Brown.
I did.
Camp.
I went
Yeah,
Charlie Brown.
Yeah,
I went Charlie Brown.
I just said it's no excitement with Charlie Brown.
Yeah. So then as we moved on, totally due to the Colorado boys, Elf knocked out Scrooge.
Oh, that was a disgrace that they have. Yeah, we had that one. And Terrence. I put Terrence in that category too.
Yeah, man. I just don't understand how you put Elf over Scrooged, man.
No, I had Scrooge going to the finals in my own personal bracket.
I mean, look. I mean, whether it's this version of Scrooge or Ebenezer Scrooge, I mean, how does Elf beat either one of those, in my opinion?
Thank you. Wow,
Yeah,
thank you. Abe and I are on the same page with this one.
Right.
I thought Elf was a lazy movie, is what it was.
Right, it was a goofy kind of Christmas, goofy elf holiday. Coop made a great point for as crazy and wild, and I said it last night. My favorite character in Scrooged is Buster Poindexter, the ghost of Christmas Past. He was just wildest, beer drinking, liquor drinking, cigar smoking taxi driver from hell. There were great characters, but in the end, when Bill Murray makes that speech,
Wow.
that's your emotional moment, even in a kind of wild and wacky
really-
film.
Yeah, it was great how he did that speech at the end.
And
I gotta say, I mean, this is probably the bracket that I've least had issues with. I've seen
right.
Even the winner, but you know what? I'm shocked. Do you know what I'm shocked? Didn't make this list. I'm looking to make sure I don't miss it. I didn't miss it, but I mean, I put it over a couple of the ones that are there now. There's no Nightmare Before Christmas?
That one didn't come up, actually. That's a
Shocking, actually. I mean,
Yeah.
that's an all-time.
again, it's better than the Jim
classic.
Carrey Grinch.
And it's
I
better
agree.
than some of the ones that are up there by far.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's better than-
It's,
yeah.
I mean, I gotta admit, I have the least issues with this bracket board of many that I've seen, but that's a shocker to me. I would have seen A Nightmare Before Christmas up there somewhere on there.
It's an offbeat one. It's an offbeat one, but it's
Yeah.
definitely a classic.
I mean, in your defense, it warrants to be there, in my opinion, more than Die Hard. Probably going to get a lot of ruckus about
I-
that.
I totally agree with you.
I totally agree, yeah.
agree with you.
As
here.
far as you're talking about,
I
Christmas
was
movies.
put in because they were trying to stir something up. Because I was fighting just not to put it in.
listen,
I think those boys believe that that's a Christmas movie for them.
Well,
They
no,
love it.
they voted against it, but I think they made a
Really?
good point, because if it was either way, it was going to happen. Because if they didn't put it in, they were going to get an uproar
Right.
from the diehard crowd.
True.
So I think we did the right thing. We got it in. It got in. We killed it immediately, and we put it to bed. But what is your thoughts on the final, Abe? Coop and I think we're on different sides here.
Yeah, we were. We voted different on this.
You mean just the final, or the final versus the final between the final two, or just the final?
The final two. The final two came down to the wire. I mean, literally.
I got to be honest with you. Those for me are probably the two most ultimate. I've made all my kids watch both these movies.
They're classics. I mean,
They're classics. I mean, I think just genre and age and where I fall in, I steer more towards
It's a Wonderful Life.
no.
Towards
I'm
Christmas
blacking
Story.
out. Christmas Story.
Christmas Story.
Yeah, I was on the other side, but again,
You're a little older than me. You're a little older than me.
A little older, but I didn't think this was like a miscarriage of justice of it winning either. This
No,
was a very popular
honestly,
movie.
I'm
Yeah,
perfectly
yeah.
okay no matter which one of those two.
Yeah,
won.
it wasn't my personal choice, but again, I see the impact of that movie.
It's definitely not.
yeah.
It's definitely. I mean, look, they're really kind of two different movies. One is really an existential, life.
Yeah, so that was my thing. It's a Wonderful Life is like it's heavy. It's a heavy movie.
It
You know
is.
what I mean?
It is a little
Guys
heavy.
contemplating suicide.
Yeah, very
It's
existential
like
movie.
It's a tearjerker. You know, it's a heavy movie.
And you're laughing your ass off, but you can't deny the cultural impact Christmas Story had. Triple Dog
right.
Dare and, Poke Your Eye. I mean, just like, stuff that's going to last, at least with us, forever. I mean,
right.
So, I mean, that's one of those ones that there really is no injustice. You're just going to have a personal choice, and either one is worthy, in my opinion.
Yeah, no. I got to say, Alex, I think you should talk about your theory with Santa Claus is coming to town, because Alex did a great job at, like, framing this last night. Where he actually won some people over on Santa Claus is coming to town with his theory.
I did.
Yes. I think you should mention this.
So I don't know if you remember Santa Claus is coming to town, Abe, but it's
vaguely
it's a story of Kris Kringle, and essentially it's basically like the the biography of
Santa
Claus.
You're talking about the animated one.
It's like the puppet.
It's the puppets, how Santa Claus actually became.
I'm going to tell you something. So before you get into it, just I'm curious now because I remember this growing up, right? I always found those cartoons creepy.
I think now, in retrospect, when you look at them, they are a little creepy.
No, when I was a kid, I got turned off by those weird Dalmatian cartoons. I found them creepy when I was a kid. I could never really get into them. I don't know if that was just me.
But that's how I feel about Polar Express. Polar Express to me is like a weird thing somewhere between like animation and real life acting.
Yes.
You remember that animation is kind of like somewhere like it's almost like video game-ish. Like, is it real or is it animation? But no, I get it. But a lot of we're going back to movies from the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. That's what they had at the time. But they are a little creepy. But I had a revelation. Like an hour before the show. I was looking over the movies and I was doing some research, and I'm just refreshing. Like, some of them I had to refresh. Like Santa Claus is Coming to Town was one of them, and it was the story of Kris Kringle. And then it hit me. Santa Claus is Coming to Town. The story of Kris Kringle is actually the story of Moses. And it all played out perfectly. It played out exactly the same. And I'll break it down again. I broke it down on Dojo last night. So in A Santa Claus is Coming to Town, you have Kris Kringle, who's born. He goes to a house. He's getting dropped off in a house. And he winds up getting knocked out of a truck, and he's sliding down this road just in his, little infant basket thing, just on his way. The same as Moses was floating down the Nile, right? So Moses gets found, right? Kris Kringle gets found. Kris Kringle gets found by like wolves or something, which is kind of weird. But they have to protect him from do you remember the name of the monster in the movie?
You talking to me?
Coop.
Oh.
I don't remember the name of them, but they have
Winter Warlock.
So they have to protect Kris Kringle from Winter Warlock and keep him away the same way that Moses had to be protected from Pharaoh.
Yeah.
So as life goes on, Kris Kringle winds up with these toy makers, and he's, Kringle, and Moses is doing his thing, and then disaster strikes. Moses winds up wandering through the desert. Kris Kringle winds up in jail. Now, Moses has a staff, which can part the Red Sea, which can draw water from a stone. Kris Kringle has magic corn,
right,
which can make reindeer fly.
Yep.
So they both have their supernatural abilities.
Yep.
And in the end, Moses leads his people to the promised land, and Kris Kringle, who becomes Santa Claus, leads us to Christmas. So
he flipped Terrence on this vote.
I flipped Terrence.
Terrence wasn't going to vote on this until this, and then he gives this analogy. Terrence changed his vote, and we got Santa Claus coming to town to the next round.
That's funny.
So I said a vote for Santa Claus coming to town is a vote for Moses, and it got him over the hump. It only lasted a round. It got bumped in the next round, but it did get bumped. It's a Wonderful Life, so I can't.
Yeah, it was a tough one.
Always good to break down the bracket results.
Yeah, like I said, it wasn't too much of a. A lot of people were pulling for Christmas Vacation. I think that was, that was the one that a lot of people were disappointed with. I think all the vacation movies. There were a couple of people that threw their arms up in the air, like, but it
Now,
really, it wasn't really bad what they did.
Coop, it's Bear that absolutely hates Chevy Chase and Christmas
He hates
Vacation?
Chevy Chase more than I hate Joe. I mean, it's much worse.
Oh, it has
Bear-
to be much worse because Bear's very vocal about it. I just happen to know, and we've done TV stuff, how much you don't like.
So-
What does he hate Chevy Chase about? He hates his acting, or
He hates his acting. He hates him personally. He hates his movies. There's a hatred with Chevy Chase.
well, you got to explain the personally one. I mean, what are they having dinners together?
Okay, he thinks Chevy Chase is a jerk, right? Which a lot of people do think that. But Joe Grow, about 2 years ago, arranged for a virtual conference call with Chevy Chase and Bear, and there's actually a video out of this, right?
No.
It only was a 2 minute. The only way it was like a 2 minute call, and Bear was just getting to the point where he actually says to him, "I don't like you as an actor," and the thing gets cut off. But it wasn't because of it was because they cut everyone off exactly at 2 minutes was the problem.
How did Joe Grow arrange that?
They had a. They
I
were
wonder
doing.
what True Estate paid for that 2 minutes.
I don't think he did. I mean, there was this was during the pandemic, so they were doing these like virtual meet and greets. A lot of these celebrities.
You're right. They were. You're right. You're right. You're right.
So
That's right.
I will actually send you guys the video of it. You guys can see it.
Oh yeah, we got to play that live on the air if we got it.
Yeah, I'll find it. And do that.
So I'm back next week.
No, you're not here next week.
Next week's the last week.
So before we get there, let's go back because you haven't been here for 2 weeks. You know, I think we want a full basketball recap. You know, we're heading towards the end of the season.
Playoffs.
It's getting tight. You keep saying we're getting towards playoffs. They're starting to play the better teams. So what is that? What team is Asher on? Do they have like names? Do they name?
Yeah, they're called the Bull Sharks.
Okay, so where are the Bull Sharks at in the standing? How are they doing? And
they
what's
are
the
second place right now.
And their record is they have one loss, right?
6-1.
6-1.
And it was the first game of the season, which they lost by 2, which really they should have won. I mean, really.
Oh, I remember you said.
Yeah, they really should have won. And there's been 2 teams now that have been undefeated all season. I actually went and watched one of. I just went to watch them play. I took Asher and we watched one of the undefeated teams play. And I mean, I'm watching them. I think our team can totally beat them. There's nothing spectacular about them. In fact, they almost lost to a 3-3 team at the time. So yeah. So but they've had a lot easier cakewalk. So now's the nitty gritty. Starting today and these next couple of games are all the other. There's one other 6-1 team, and then there's the 5-2 teams, and the undefeated teams are all like coming up. So it's going to be a really nice end of the season to see these guys rally into the playoffs. But I'm telling you, man, I mean, Alex, you were there the first time we had both our kids, I think in some kind of.
Sure, they were like 3 or 4.
4 years old, right? And then I went to flag football. I went to martial arts, and I'm not going to lie, man. Every time I signed my son up for something, it was literally a soul-crushing experience. I mean, like just watching him play and not, understand the sport. This is the first year I'm so excited and enjoying every freaking game watching him play. Bro, he's come such a long way. Listen, anybody. Well, I mean, I'm sure there's some of our listeners got young kids. I'm going to tell you something, and it's really funny because he does this thing where because I've drilled it into him, which is kind of my fault. So now I'm deprogramming him, but I've told him don't dribble because the kid couldn't dribble. Every time he dribbled at his foot, he'd lose the ball. I say, if you get everyone, just hold it and pass it to a dribbler. You know what I'm saying? So now he gets caught. Now he gets caught sometimes under the net or by the net, and he's got the ball, and I could see him. He doesn't want to dribble, and he does this like weird faking out shit. It goes nowhere, and he ends up passing the ball. But I got this thing, and anybody who's got young kids, you can get them for Christmas. They got a steal on them right now. It's called Dribble Up, and it's that special basketball that the iPads read, and they have coaching sessions and live coaching sessions and video recorded coaching sessions. Yeah,
I got one.
Yeah. I was telling because I just sent Marissa a link.
Yeah.
They just had the cheapest I've ever seen them. It's like $39, and normally they're $100, but usually you get them on sale for $60, $65. They're $39 right now. And listen, the reason why is it's a $16 subscription, monthly subscription.
That's what it is, right?
I'll be doing basketball, but I'll be giving basketballs away free for $16 a month every month. So, but it's pretty cool. It's a big yellow ball, and the coach does his dribbling thing in a green box moves, and you as the dribbler got to get the ball in the box, and it keeps a rep count and everything. The kid's become a decent dribbler. He's become a decent dribbler this season. And I'm telling him, dribble, bro. Dribble to the hoop.
Right, now you got to, don't dribble to dribble.
Yeah, so it's really been fun, man. I'm excited about the season. I got blessed with 2 great coaches. I really hope they draft him next year. I mean, I want him to stay with this coaches.
So you have a game next. You have it. Well,
I got a game today at 3 o'clock.
3 o'clock. You're here because it's a later game, and then you have another game. Now you're not with us again next Saturday.
That's the last game of the season, and then they go into playoffs. I don't know. What the playoff schedule is gonna be.
And then after next week, those of you will be taking 2 weeks off for the holidays.
2 weeks off for the holidays, and we'll be coming back with tail of the tape in January.
Yes, and we'll recap number 10, and then
So we'll have everyone back. Yeah, we have everyone.
Yeah. But Abe actually, Coop was kind enough. He actually found us this Chevy Chase video of Bear. He
got it already. Oh, awesome.
He got it. He sent it to me.
It was in my favorites.
Yeah. So we can take a look at this here. Actually, let me see if I can blow it up a little bigger for us. Did that get better, or did that just shrink the screen?
No, it looks good.
It's the hearing that counts on this.
Is he saying anything, or is
Hi, Joe. Oh, Joe.
Joe.
What happened?
He calls him Joe.
Wearing a helmet? No, just a hat like me. Yeah.
Yes, just a Packers hat. And Mr. Chase, actually, my friend Joe Grow actually put this up for us today. My name is Bear. Actually, yeah, Bear, just
Hi,
like
Bear.
the animal. Hello, Mr. Chase. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So first, I wanted to thank you for your time today.
Bear? Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, I wanted to thank you for your time today. I know that you're probably thrown with friends today, just overwhelmed and everything. This was actually kind of a ruse. My friend Joe and some other friends have bought this for me as a Christmas present, kind of as a joke, because actually,
That's
I'm
not
actually.
Is that your beard?
Yes, this is my beard.
Oh, okay.
Yes. So,
I thought maybe they.
are you jealous, or have you ever tried to grow one?
I'm jealous.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh wait, no, I did grow one once.
You did.
It's an old. I mean, it's like 40 years ago, but I had a pretty good beard. Yours is better.
Thank you
You're
very
welcome.
much. So, I had probably. I know we only got a couple of minutes here, but I wanted to. There was one question that I wanted to ask you actually. So, like I said, my friends put this together because, as it turns out, Mr. Chase, I'm not a big fan of yours.
No, you're shit.
What are you gonna do?
Why are you? I'm good.
So, but you have a very distinct style, which has obviously been great for a lot of your fans. So, and I've kind of tried to describe it to people.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
How would you describe your style? We got 13 seconds left. How would you describe your style? Comedic
My
style.
what?
Your comedic style.
Oh, my style? How would I describe it?
Mhm.
Comedic. But yeah,
He's
pretty
comedic.
much comedic.
Yeah.
Once
And that's it. Boom.
So
Yeah.
fatal error on Bear's part, right? You're going into this. You got 2 minutes, man. Fuck the cordials. Fuck that.
Yeah,
friend.
you got to get
Fuck
in.
that
You got
Joe
2 minutes.
Bro.
I agree on that one.
What the fuck?
Yeah, this is your shot. This is
Yeah,
your
I'd be like,
But I'll say this, Bear didn't want to do this.
Let's get to the
and
point and
He was
start
good spirit.
bullshitting.
Yeah, he didn't want to do this, Bear.
I can imagine. I'm sure he didn't want to do it. It's an awkward moment.
He was fighting
But
on it.
credit to him. He told him, "Listen, I'm not a big fan of yours." I'm just gonna...
Yeah, but that should have came out in the first fucking 15
Immediately.
interview.
Forget
You know,
the beard.
My friends bought this
Forget
as a
the
ruse
beard.
because I always say I'm not a big fan of yours. So,
Right.
maybe you can win me over in these 2 minutes. What's your comedic style? Well, how would you describe it?
Right.
I mean, he just wasted. He thought he was on his own show and had 3.5 hours to do an episode.
Right.
Yeah, he just wasted time.
Well, he did it. And every year we've done a virtual watching of Christmas Vacation with Bear. We make him sit through and watch it on a virtual watch party. And basically, we tell everyone kick in $25, and it goes to Bear's charity to do it. So he agrees to do it, and then throughout the whole movie, he's insulting the movie. So you're watching this, and Bear's just hurling every insult at Chevy Chase, throughout the whole movie with commentary as it's going through. But he does that as kind of a charity thing. He said, "I'll do it, but I want the money to go to charity." So he has agreed to do that.
So this brings up a good point. Without making it deep and whatever, someone who's alive today.
Yeah.
Who would you want your 2 minutes with, Coop?
Someone that I like or not like?
Just who would you like 2 minutes with? Just not deep. Don't get all philosophical. Who comes to mind that you wouldn't mind having a 2 minute?
That's a good one. It would probably be Tom Coughlin, the coach of the New York Giants.
Alex?
Mike
Yeah.
Tyson.
Yeah.
Vinny just had dinner with him yesterday.
Okay.
You could have had your.
Oh,
could have
man.
had. Oh, I forget.
I
Sorry.
don't really deal with Vinny. You know.
I would have substituted on that one, Abe. That's a good.
Gordon Ramsay.
I like Gordon.
Dude, I love this guy. I love his story. I love his ethic.
Yeah.
I love what he does. I mean, look, he's got his own empire. He's got his own production company. He's making shows, but I don't give a shit, bro. He's making tons of people's lives better. You know, you're allowed to make a profit if you're making people's lives better. You know.
Yeah, I agree.
And you could just tell, man. You can't fake that kind of sincerity, man. His will to work at a level that's above everybody else. And what's really funny is I don't know if many people know this, but he got fired. It's kind of cool, actually. Funny. He got fired from his first gig.
A lot of the greats do. Michael Jordan.
You know why?
Got from his first basketball team.
You know why?
Why?
Slept with the owner's wife.
Wow. I mean,
There's
that'll fired.
Just let me tell you, there's sports stories of a lot of people like losing jobs in sports, like GMs and managers over stuff like that. That
Sure.
doesn't get put out there. Yeah.
I would love to have a powwow, a 2 to 3, 4 or 5 minute powwow with that guy. I got a lot of admiration and respect for him. So,
But Abe, I think, yeah, you interviewed Ditko. Was that like the one interview? Like that's an interview on KMA. I would say that probably is the one you stands out. Because I know you're growing up there. Yeah,
it's personal for me because I grew up watching Mike Ditka.
Yeah.
So I mean, whether you're a sports fan or not, or whether you know Mike Ditka and you know, I grew up with him, so I'm like, you feel like he's part of your life no matter what.
Yeah.
So that was huge for me, and I
remember
one of the things I'll never forget he said during the interview, which kind of really affected my judgment, and it's starting to fade a little bit on me now, is he said that he doesn't want his grandkids playing football.
Yep, I remember that.
He said
You've mentioned that before. You've mentioned
yeah, he said that during the interview. He goes, I'm a grandfather. I got grandkids. If you ask me if I want my grandkids playing football, I'd say no.
Yeah.
You know, and that sunk with me. And I kind of said I wasn't going to push my son to play football or whatever. And here I am. I signed him up for flag football.
It's flag one, yeah.
Yeah, well, flag leads to I mean, that's the problem. If you get a love of the game, you got to love of the game.
Right. If he gets into it, right.
Yeah. They tell him, no, you can't play football now.
Yeah.
So
introduced him to it.
Yeah. So but yeah, he was a great interview. Armando Sante was a great interview we had.
Oh yeah.
One of my favorite, who was really, really good, which I don't believe we had a chance to talk to. I think it was a pre-recorded one that our producer at the time, when we had a real producer, John Barron, was William Shatner.
Very good. Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah, William Shatner was a good interview, but I wasn't part of that interview. But no, I've been lucky to interview some really interesting, cool people. But yeah, Ditka was great. I'm gonna eventually find a way to hook up with Gordon Ramsay. I'm gonna do it. I just need 5 minutes, man. I just want to talk to this guy.
It'll be great. It'll be great.
Oh, I'd love to.
And you think, like I said, what you kind of said about him was something I just, I'm learning about here today. That's a great thing. Yeah.
Which part? The affair?
Yeah. I didn't know about that part.
No, man, listen.
Not that I expect you. I know you wouldn't ask him that on the air, but I'm just I learned a little more is what I'm saying about him. Yeah.
Listen to me. He worked under Jean-Pierre White, who was the youngest 3-star Michelin chef, right? Mm-hmm. And then he became the youngest 3-star Michelin chef ever. I mean, that's a testament right there, right? But if you're on Hell's Kitchen, they're all fighting to become an executive chef at one of his restaurants. So he's giving people jobs. And, here's the best part about all these shows, whether it's Kitchen Nightmares or Master Chef or whatever it is, the people who don't win go on to have great careers, a lot of them.
Of course.
Yes, a lot of them get
course.
great jobs and great careers. The people who don't win, who come up second and third and whatnot. And if I know his new Kitchen Nightmares, which I watch, because some of these people I say are just unsalvageable. And I'm the type of guy that I'll do the research and see how this restaurant's actually doing 6 months, a year.
Yeah, I do that a lot too. After
To see if it actually,
still
right. But if you go, I was watching Kitchen Nightmares back when it was a BBC, and they didn't come in and redo your whole restaurant or whatever. He just went in and helped people.
And he was in England. He wasn't even.
He was in Europe. And he
went
and helped people who had awful menus or falling apart or didn't understand the financial stuff. And
right. They didn't do whole build outs back.
Yeah, it wasn't a glitzy show. So this guy's been doing this for a long time, and I really think it's something pretty brilliant. It really. I think if you can live your life and find a way to have such a positive impact on so many people, that's noteworthy to me. I mean, that's just mine. That's awesome.
Agree.
Awesome. And
all right, let me ask
guys
you
like that deserve the money they make. Because what does he do with that money he makes? He makes another show and another thing and another thing.
Right.
That's why they deserve it. They deserve it. They don't just live in their yachts and you never see them again or whatever. This guy, I mean, with as many shows as he has and his production company and everything, this guy's got to be working like fucking all the time.
Sure.
I mean, he really has to be working all the time. So God bless him.
But here's a question for you. Seth brings up his one good question a quarter. So kudos to Seth. We won't hear anything good from him again until the spring. But if you like Kitchen Rescue, what about Bar Rescue or Kitchen Nightmares? What about Bar Rescue?
I've caught a couple of Bar Rescues, and you have to understand that most of these are spinoffs of his original concept.
Yeah.
Right. So
his original concept.
I mean, I think Kitchen Nightmares goes back before any of these types of shows. The original one in the BBC.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So,
but we're talking Ramsey versus John Tapper here.
Yeah, I get it, but I mean, what is it you want me to compare? Who I enjoy more?
I'm just saying. What do you think? Do you like? For me, I like Bar Rescue. It feels a little more scripted from him.
I think it's totally a little bit more scripted. Or they're just not as good as hiding it.
John Taffer was a keynote at one of the IPCPRs.
Yes.
Yep, a few years ago. Yep. He wasn't bad. I thought he was pretty good.
No, I mean, listen, you like those kind of people who.
Yeah.
Listen, I have nothing against John Tapper. I just really believe that this is a lifelong project for this guy, and I just got the utmost respect for him. I like Bar Rescue. I kind of like all these things where they go in and try to make people better. I think it's a great thing. And my favorite is the ones that the ones that just won't listen. I mean, you imagine you got a guy who's running the most successful bars telling you what to do, or you got a 3-star Michelin chef who has tons of, and then you're arguing with them. It's like, where do they find you? The producers look, oh yeah, we got to have these people on. These people are absolutely out of their mind.
Right.
They got to have these people on. And I'm going to tell you something. An interesting one I just saw is there was a restaurant. Listen to this. This is the most recent one I saw. There was a restaurant, 95 years in business, bro. There's not that many restaurants that get that far. 5 years away from their 100th anniversary. Yeah. It's in Jersey somewhere. It's a hot dog place, Max's Bar and Grill. Okay. And it started with a little shack and they expanded. The old man died. It started with her grandfather. The old man died. Now the daughter's got it. Has no clue how to run a restaurant. Okay. Her ex-husband is the cook and they don't get along. And his girlfriend is the front of house. Okay. Oof. So talk about, yes. And the food was just disgusting. So I'm like, wow, man, they bought Gordon Ramsay to a hot dog fucking restaurant.
That's an institution in Long
Beach. Right, bro? Yeah. They're all hugging each other. They're doing great. And this place was $1 million in debt. That had to be the most debt I've ever seen on one of their shows. $1 million.
But, that's a story you see a lot. The grandparents ran it for 100 years. Suddenly the kids are in charge and everything went to shit.
Common theme, man. Forget about restaurants. Most businesses.
Right.
Common theme.
Right.
Common theme.
Yeah, very true.
That's why it's always really, really nice when you see, especially in our industry, like, Nick Perdomo and Alec Bradley, when the kids really come up and don't unravel.
Eric Jr.
Don't unravel their parents' life's work. I mean, it's really good to see.
Yeah, I grew up son of someone and grandson of someone in family business. So I have a lot of respect for that. There's a whole, at least I saw my father kind of do things the right way with everything. I don't know. I think I would have messed up my father's business if I ended up taking it over.
I took over mine for about 4 years.
Yeah.
Then you took a vacation to
Then
Florida.
I bailed.
It did come.
But it's never. Look, that wasn't my choice. I didn't say I wanted to get in the family business. I didn't. It was basically I had a side business. I was doing good, and I wasn't working like 3 weeks a month. I was doing work 1 week and making enough money to survive the month. And my dad's like, all right, this is not a job. You need to fucking come work, and threw me in the business.
Yeah.
Ended up running it for about 4 years with him. And when it got to the point where I had to make a choice because I was about to have another opportunity, whether I was going to be in the grocery business my whole life or something else, I really came to Florida to think about the decision and ended up never going home. But I could have done it well. It just wouldn't have been as fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there's no real passion or fun or excitement to the grocery business.
Right.
I'm not having the great shop, national event of grocery people. I mean, what do you do? There's nothing. And I was always a very gregarious.
The grapefruit.
Right. The great,
right.
The great. Yeah. I mean, I was always a very gregarious person. Loved being around people and working with people. And that just, I mean, it was there on a community level because we were a community grocery store.
Sure.
People shop with my father, their kids shop with me. But outside of that, you're in the grocery business, man. There's nothing thrilling, fun, or exciting about it. Well, Tim, if it was eating food, it's a different story. Selling food is a whole other game. Because I'm going to tell you what, I think it's probably why I'm so enamored with Gordon Ramsay and watch these shows. If I ever just wanted to dabble in something for fun, I would do a restaurant business. I've had concepts and stuff I've kind of wanted to do maybe in retirement or whatever, just like a real special, short, low menu, unique specialty concepts I've had for restaurants. I think that would be the other entrepreneurial thing I would delve in if I wasn't. I mean, look, my passion as a kid, if I always said I just had to pick a career, would be something in the cinema and movies. I mean, I just always loved it. I was a movie buff as a kid and whatever. But in the real world where I have to actually do something, it would probably be some type of nice restaurant business. What about you guys? If you really just had to, not so you have the dream job, like where if I could have just done anything I wanted, but in practicality universe, what would it be?
Like a business
or job?
Oh, well, job was easy. I always said I would have been teaching military history at West Point.
Oh, wow.
If life went my way.
Cool.
Yeah, mine would be a sports agent. I would love to be a sports agent.
Wow, cutthroat fucking.
I've learned.
Show me the money.
Especially, I've learned a lot about contracts now later in my regular career, and I think I would have loved to have just kind of applied that to the world of sports.
I could see that, Coop. I can see Coop. I mean, you already have the very knowledgeable on the subject to begin with.
Yeah, I learned a lot. I've learned a lot about contract negotiations in recent years, and I see like these sports contracts, and people don't realize how complex these contracts are. And they're seeing this with Ohtani right now, right? Ohtani probably agreed to a deal with the team, but it's these small little clauses that are the ones that hold things up, and the lawyers love to just fight over. It's indemnities and liability and termination. Right. All that's the stuff that holds up these contracts a lot.
Did you see the Jordan movie?
Which one?
The one that came out in the last year.
Oh, the big one? No, the documentary or the movie?
It wasn't about Michael Jordan as much as it was about Nike and the shoe. And
that one I haven't seen yet.
Yeah, I didn't see that yet. But
you haven't seen it?
No, I heard.
I haven't seen it yet.
Coop, you gotta see it. If that's what
it's on my list for
Most
sure.
People don't know that Michael Jordan, basically his mother, basically revolutionized how all these guys' contracts were going to be moving forward in their career. He was the first guy ever that worked out some kind of brand ownership deal, and it changed everything for everybody.
Wow.
Every basketball player since him should be doing nothing but thanking him. Literally. I mean, you got to watch that movie. I mean, just from a financial standpoint of how they've been able to earn money. I mean, really, because when you look back and you see what these guys were making for sponsorships back then, it's like,
Yeah.
You know, it's like wow.
Right.
Yeah.
Literally. No, it was a great movie. Ben Affleck and what's his name was really good. Jason Bourne. What's his name? Why am I blacking out? I'm getting old.
I think he's always in the Ben Affleck and
His buddy,
yeah,
his sidekick. What's his name?
Jason Bourne.
I know. What's his acting name?
I don't know.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
Jesus Christ, we're getting old.
We're getting old.
Speaking of which, speaking of TV, and reminder, you gotta go watch season 2 of The Ottoman.
Bro, I forgot to tell you, I saw it. That's not new. That's been out. I watched them back to back. Or I think when I saw season 2 come out, I go, let me watch season 1 first. Yeah. That's been out for a while. No, that was great. You got me excited for a second when I thought there was a new season. No, that whole I knew you'd love it. That whole series the Ottoman Empire is great.
Yeah, very good series on Netflix.
I like how it's done, where
it's like a docudrama. It's not a documentary. It's not a movie.
It's a documentary with acting scenes. It's really cool.
Yeah. It's like how they did the Russian. They did one on the Russian Revolution with Tsar Nicholas. Yeah, I think it's probably along those lines how they did it. Yeah.
Yes, I watched that too. That was also very good.
No.
Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of The Crown though. As much, I was interested in The Crown, but it was so historically inaccurate, some of the stuff in there, that it disappointed me.
Yeah, I gotta tell you something. This fucking cigar is smoking unbelievable.
Well, you got a year and change of age
I mean,
now, you know.
It is just fucking stellar. This could be my favorite TGS release.
I mean, it's up there. It's up there.
I think this is my favorite TGS release.
I mean, I don't know.
I really don't know if people are gonna like it. You know, I remember Saka came out with that one.
Every fucking cigar he made.
That was one he was really like just playing down. I remember that one.
That's heavy talk, Abe. I mean, we've had some insane TGS releases.
Let me back that up. I meant of Saka's releases.
Okay.
Yeah. I meant of Steve Unbarton releases. This is my favorite.
We had a damn opus.
No. I meant just strictly from him.
Right.
My favorite.
Yeah, no. I like it in that.
This
that
is my
box.
favorite.
That's the box. That's the 27, right? You're smoking the box press.
27. Yeah, this is my favorite rendition of his TGS releases. I think by far. Actually. We
will see what he comes up with in a little under a month.
I wonder what the new number is going to be.
I know. I listen. I guess it's easier for him rather than coming up with names.
I agree.
Just another number in the.
Hey, listen. It's worked every year. Why change something that doesn't?
It does work though. Rather than come up with some gimmicky name every year. Just keep it.
I smoked the Monty last night on the show. Actually, the Monty TGS one. Really good cigar, by the way.
I'm going to tell you something. I think there was the screw up of the delivery and the fact that we had to really ship them like 2 to 3 weeks after the drop just kind of buried that cigar. But I think that was one of the under the radar cigars.
Yeah, it was. I bought a box of those actually.
Of the TGS release.
Well, I'll tell you who knows. The guys in Boynton know. We bring boxes in. They buy them all up.
Yeah.
They know that cigar.
It's probably one of our bigger selling Monty brands here in Boynton Beach, without a doubt.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
It's just Monty's one of those things. There's so many of them. Sometimes you can't keep track of what's what. But the guys who've discovered that TGS release, they're eating them up. So
it wouldn't surprise me if they go back to that blend and add it. It's they could extend Monty Nicaragua with it because it's a different expression of it. It wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, well, you got to, that's not your average Monty. That's Raphael with his hands in the boutique pot. Coming up with something
inspired by the Connoisseur Club. I mean, literally, I think that's when he was into it. I think Raphael is one of the guys who enjoyed doing that club more than anybody. He
absolutely 100%
every opportunity.
100%.
Oh, I can tell you just from my conversations, he had a ball doing it with him.
He really did.
Didn't they do kind of like a spin-off thing of that afterward? Abe, didn't his son put something together?
Yeah, his son has a
basically copied our Connoisseur Club.
Yeah.
But it's okay. I don't mind. I listen. I don't mind. I don't mind at all.
But I mean, it just goes to show that they.
But his is a little different. His is.
I got news for you. Drew Estate copied our Connoisseur Club.
Oh, 100%. Freestyle Live is direct.
Freestyle Live.
Joe Grow was a Connoisseur Club.
Joe Grow was the first member from the first month.
From month 1, yeah.
Part of the Connoisseur Club, and less than a year later, they had Freestyle Live, which basically is the a Connoisseur Club. So yeah, they
Raphael's Sons Club though they're not disclosing who the manufacturers are is the difference. Like,
Really?
so it's more anonymous.
I'm going to tell you something. So for me, that becomes a transparency issue.
That's their call. Yeah, I mean, I would say you should be transparent.
When I try to do things that are off the cuff and weird, I always like to be 1,000% transparent. Because let's face it, Coop, I know, Alex knows, we've been in the game for years. There's a lot of people who, I wouldn't say a lot, but there definitely are people who aren't so sincere about how they do projects. I could buy cigars from the same guy all day and say they're from different people. Who's going to question or check me or check and balance of what I'm doing and what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that that's happening at all. So don't, before anybody gets out there and say it, that's what I'm saying it's about. What I'm saying is there are definitely people that do that. So for me, I could never do that. And that's why it was important in my connoisseur club that the manufacturer made the reveal video.
Made the video, right?
Yes.
Not
that
just something right.
That was a key point for me because they ain't coming on lying about shit. So, that was one of the key stipulations in doing the connoisseur club, that the manufacturer had to do the video to talk about the cigar. Because otherwise, let's face it, if I was going to be a dishonest person, I could buy second-rate stick bundles from anybody and just say, oh, they were made by this or they're made by that. I'll do that all day long. How can anyone ever verify that?
I agree the transparency is good, but I also felt when they did those videos, it showed me they were behind the project and they just didn't check the box.
Yeah, and we wanted them to be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Some people drop the ball here and there, and look, everybody's got a lot going on in a 600 cigar run production is not, it's like, oh, wow, did we just skip that? I mean, it easily happened. I think it happened 2 or 3 times during the course of the 2 years, but for the most part,
three times, two guys made it, right? And one
guy didn't. Yeah. But it's all good. Anyways, we got to go to a break. God, that first hour just flew by. Talking. So we got to go to the break. Chuck, I saw you wanted any news on TGS 2024. It's all up there on the website. If there's any specific questions you want, put them in the comments. We'll address them after the break. Alex, you want to say something?
I was just curious if you're able to handle the pushing of the buttons.
Well, if you had told me, I have no idea.
Order.
Hold on. Then before I go to break, hang on.
All you got to do is find Juan Cancel and then work your way down.
Hold on. I got to get ready, bro. I'm not familiar with this as you guys. All right. So it's Juan Aging Club TGS.
Boom. That's it.
There you go.
All right. I'll give it a go. We'll be back. Don't go anywhere. Keep it lit.
Phenomenal. 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 Phenomenal.
My name is Rafael Nodal from Aging Room and Tabacalera USA. Since I was a little kid, I fell in love with a musical form called sonata. There are many famous sonatas, from fantastic composers and musicians like Beethoven, Liszt, Rachmaninoff, Mozart, and I wanted to have my own sonata. So I dedicated my sonata to Nicaragua, but I didn't write my sonata with musical terms. I composed my sonata with tobacco leaves. I teamed up with my great friend and tobacco master, AJ Fernandez, and together we created these blends. This cigar has subtle notes. It's not aggressive. It has some great flavor, some character, and amazing aroma. So I dedicated my sonata to Nicaragua, the land of volcanoes and lakes. Cheers.
Surgeon General.
Honesty agree with the GOAT to tell you about Smokin's Cigar of the Month Club. Alex, tell our fans out there why our club is the best darn club out there.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you why. Because every month I personally handpick 5 premium cigars. No filler, no fluff, no fugazis. These are all premium handmade name brands that you can find in any brick and mortar store in your area. All delivered to your door for $34.95. And our average monthly retail value since the inception of our club has been almost $57. Another great feature of our Cigar of the Month Club, Alex, tell them about the ease of our Cigar of the Month Club. I'll tell you, I hate subscription services. It's always a pain to cancel them, turning them on. We've made it super simple. All you gotta do is log into your account. There's a little green button there. If it's green, you're active. You want to take a break, you're going out of town, simply hit the button and you'll deactivate your membership. Want to turn it back on? The exact same easy process. You can turn it right back on. We've made it that easy for you. Another great feature is our Double Down Club. Alex, tell them about the Double Down Club. We had so many of our members reach out to us who really enjoyed our selections every month. They wanted to know there was a way they can get 2. And we've made that very simple. With a simple check mark, you can get double this great selections every month and save $10. Does our club have perks? Of course it have perks. You want to tell them about the perks? As a member of our club, every month there's a special discount code where if you like any of the selections, we will offer them to you. So you want to come and get some more, you can get them at a special discounted rate for our Cigar of the Month Club members. And finally, expedited shipping. Tell them how fast we get the stuff out, Alex. We get the stuff out on the 28th of every month. Our membership bills on the 28th, and we get every member's package out on the 28th if it's a shipping day. 5 great reasons on what makes Smoking Cigar of the Month Club the best club out there. Check it out. Peace. Hey, I Honest Dave here. Welcome back to part 2 of KMA Talk Radio. Here with my gang, Alex the Goat Tavella and William the Scoop Cooper. Gentlemen, welcome back.
Yeah, a couple flags on the play there, bro.
Yeah, I know. Premature commercialations. Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, give Dave a break here. He did this on
absolutely. He did.
Yeah.
He did.
This is not Paul here. Paul's supposed to be an expert in this.
So what happened was I forgot after playing you left, so you didn't see it. The wine can.
I heard it. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot. I got to click on the next one.
Yeah,
And so there was a couple. So I was really paranoid of not missing it, and I prematurely clicked on a couple of those. Cigar of the month. So our cigar of the month. By the way, for very unrehearsed, we had our timing down.
That was like
that's what I'm saying.
One or two. We did pretty well with that.
Yeah,
for unrehearsed. That was come here. Let's do a video.
For Alex had no idea what we were doing. I'm like, I got an idea. I want you to do this, and we did it like on the fly. Our timing's really kind of good on that.
That was pretty
good. Very good job.
So, Coop, we have a dilemma. We actually were in the office for about an hour and a half yesterday, right? So one of the things that I've kind of prided myself, and I think it's why we have 2, 3, 4, 5 year members, is we do not repeat a line. So, and when I say line, I mean any Vitola in the line. So if we've had,
we did a Camacho broadleaf Toro. We're not doing the Robusto.
Right.
And that's, so far, nothing's ever been repeated other than one cigar, which I did on purpose because it got discontinued and it was early on.
702, right?
I know you're going with this already.
Yes, we are struggling because, we're literally picking cigars we want people to smoke. Like we think they'll enjoy them. And it's getting to the point where there's not enough lines, and I think 20, because I think 2024 is going to be the year. Because look, our membership in the first year for many, many months was
like 300, right?
Yeah, I mean, we started with 150. So there's so many members who didn't get to see cigars in the first year, maybe year and a half to 2 years. And I think we're going to get to the point where we might start repeating some in different Vitolas at least. But yeah, we were struggling yesterday. People don't understand how hard it is to really do a legitimate, successful Cigar of the Month club.
Right. I mean, we're going on. We're pushing towards 5 years.
5 years, Miss May.
Right. I mean, that's at 5 cigars a month. That's a lot of cigars.
It's a lot of
even STG can't keep up with that many new
right.
use.
Yeah.
So
just to clarify, that doesn't mean you're just going to get repeat of old packs, but there may be some cigars.
Not packages,
that have been
we're
used.
actually looking at cigars that we probably should revisit because the majority of our current membership never experienced it the first time. And that's their point.
I don't think that's a I don't think that's a problem because again, your membership base, you probably have new members and members have dropped and come back. I don't have a problem with.
Yeah. It's just people don't realize the logistics. I mean, look, I love the people who say, "Oh, this cigar club caters to my profile." Now, unless you only have like 20 members, I could tell you that it's logistically not even possible. It's just not. I mean, you cannot. I mean, unless you break it down, maybe if on a logistical standpoint, you break it down to 2 to 3 different types of profiles. Like if you say we're going to have a bold pack, a strong pack, and a medium pack, or whatever. But when you have thousands of members, how do you do that? It's logistically impossible to do that. That most people do that because they don't have enough for their whole membership of this one cigar, or this one cigar. So taste is very subjective. So you send anybody a random 5 and you say, yeah, we catered this. Well, you were off on this one. This one's not my, who can debate that argument?
I want to answer Tim's question real quick. So the answer to that question, Tim, is as far out as possible and month to month. So we try to get cigars as often as we can, and we just want to get them in the queue. We get what we get. We take a look at cigars. Oh, let's get it. And then literally, every month by the month, Abe goes through and we'll pick the 5 cigars. So it's not like
now,
we don't know what we're going to do for, he looks at what we have and he makes a decision on this looks like a good pack. It's not like we line up 6 months worth of packs that we know is going out.
Right now in the warehouse or at any given moment, there's probably a dozen that are just sitting there waiting to be used for Cigar of the Month Club, at any given time. And then, at the beginning of the month, I'll sit down, I look at what we've picked recently, what companies have been recently, because I like to keep it kind of
How long ago did we use somebody from this
literally
company?
I look at how long ago the last time this company's been, in it, even if it's a completely different blend. And I try to mix it in price range, between something that might be $9 to something that might be $15, so that the value is always around, $55 to $60. And that's how I make my selections every month. But we literally work all year to try to acquire them in the warehouse. So like perfect example, El Mago Cigars, very hot new brand for us. We just bought it in, selling great in the stores, selling great online. But like when we sat down and to bring the line in, we said to him, look, we'd like to feature you 2 or 3 times at Cigar of the Month. And I think one was just in last month or the month before. And, we have one already in the warehouse that'll come up in the 2024, but it's a constant work. So, I think it's a testament to our club and why we have, what I didn't know until we had, Joey come on board because he had experience working with his former employer, that basically the average lifespan of Cigar of the Club Month members is like 4 to 6 months. That's pretty much by the time they get bored or sick or they see too many repeats or whatever the reason is.
Yeah.
And our club is full of 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to be coming up soon 5-year members, which is he thought was absurd, and I think it's a testament.
We got to come up with the 5-year anniversary gift
project this month.
Yeah.
So let me ask a question to you guys because this is something kind of going on in the media end right now. Let's say you had Saka Khan, the Saka Khan cigar in the Cigar of the Month Club. And I don't know if you did or not. Like, would you now reconsider bringing Papa Saka in?
Yeah, different cigar.
It's the same blend. It's just a different size.
Technically, it's a different cigar.
Well, so in that situation, I would say yes.
Cigar, yeah,
because it smokes like a different cigar.
Well, he blends the size. He blends the size.
Yeah, it's not like we had the Toro and now we're doing the Robusto.
Yeah.
Those 2 cigars smoke very differently.
It's literally a different SKU item on his order form, so we look at it as a different cigar.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, I think there's there's probably some scenarios if you dug, you could probably find some of those types of scenarios out there then.
Sure.
There is, but the problem.
I think it is a fair thing to put in as a
problem
cigar.
is also getting enough. Like Papa Saka. I don't think Steve's got that kind of inventory.
Got a few thousand extra sticks spared around right now. I mean,
he's
down the road maybe, but
yeah.
Right now they're still flying off the shelves.
Yeah.
So
I'm telling you, that's going to be the dominant cigar on the list this year. Is Papa's? You're going to see it dominate lists like I've never seen it dominate before. A cigar. That's going to be a machine on all these lists this year.
Sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, one list it's not going to be on, and I'm I'm interested to see.
It actually didn't make my list either, but because it's eligible next year is the way it goes.
Right.
But Soccer Time's eligible, yeah.
I made a prediction on a Dojo show about a year ago, and I'll be interested to see if I land correctly. But my prediction was we will see that EPC allegiance in the top 3 of Cigar Aficionado. It just tends to roll that way.
I think
they make those kind of
releases. Position for that. It's positioned for that for sure. I don't think it will be number 1, but it also checks a box from the Oliva factory too. Keep in mind. So
right.
Yep. So I think it's a very smart pick.
Be interesting.
We probably won't get a Cuban. They don't tend to do Cubans 2 years in a row, right?
No, we won't get a Cuban. I mean, we're actually doing our show on Tuesday, the prognostication show.
That's right. I'm going to watch. That should be interesting.
And let me tell you, the scores in Aficionado this year have been higher than we've ever seen before. And we don't know why. Is it the cigars are better, or is it that they're scoring higher? That's what's not clear. But the scores throughout the year have been significantly amped up. Or ramped up, I should say.
Yeah. I mean, I see it too.
Yeah, but like I said, that list comes down to we know the companies that make it every year, and EPC is one of them. That's why I think Alex is dead on with that.
I think it's it's an unavoidable psychological phenomenon that has to happen, because what happens is, look, you say the highest you ever scored a cigar is 95.
Right.
But you come across one, you say, wow, I kind of like it better than that cigar I give it. Where do you go? You got to go up.
You go up.
And then if it happens again, you got to go up.
Yep.
So it's just a natural phenomenon, because you're going to come across something that you liked better eventually than the highest score you ever rated a cigar.
Yeah.
So, unless you start getting into real fractional points, going up a quarter point or whatever, scores are just going to kind of go up no matter what. It's inevitable.
But the problem with that is that, that cigar that you scored an 88 in the early days when 88 was still kind of a good number. Now 88 looks like it's a C-. You're like, oh my God.
The calls I get, 87, 88, which, we've tried to keep it like that, keep it in balance. But yeah, it's and then there's sites that will score things 97s, that are just ridiculous high scores. Right. And you're scoring an 89 and you're the bad guy. So. And you still like the cigar. You still tell people go buy the cigar, right?
B plus. 89's a B plus.
89's a B plus. A pretty good cigar. Like, look, that Monte Cristo TGS was an 89 on my site. Really good. That's a really good cigar at my book. Yeah, I'd still buy multiples of those. Yeah.
I think Dave just doesn't even care where something ranked before half the time. He just goes in there, makes a pizza score based on that moment, whether it's something comparable to something else he's tried or liked.
He'll do it. He'll do it when he's making a run in an area. I noticed.
Yeah.
Like if he's in Connecticut,
right.
Like, well, wait a minute.
Because he can remember it.
Yeah. If he's making a run in that area at the moment, he'll remember. Oh, what did I score to place down the street? I like this better.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's about it. Yeah. It's not in the moment.
No, we have not done that.
It kind of takes away from the
exploration. Alex, you took the words right out of my mouth. It's exactly what I was going to say. That's more of a selling pack than it is a, hey, we want to try new cigars pack,
And there are some companies that do those. Like, for example, I know Crown Heads does it with some of their lines. And, so they're already doing stuff like that, Yeah,
at that point, it's like essentially a fresh pack. One of those,
Right. Perdomo does it. Yeah, Perdomo's got a lot of options with their fresh packs, too.
Right. Yeah, they have a whole...
Yeah.
Of course.
So I don't think you guys need to duplicate that is what I'm saying.
So... the goat's been picking up the slack for me. I think almost every Friday before I come on, I'm like, oh shit, I gotta do a fucking name that jam. I got it. So he's actually been picking up the slack for me. I literally said that yesterday. So we have a name that jam ready for you guys, brought to you by the fine folks at Avo Cigars, and we're gonna test your musical acumen and see if you can actually name this jam.
Alrighty, it is time to name that jam. So for this one, this will probably be a layup, Coop. There's a little trick to this one for the rest of you. I'll be interested to see how many get it wrong for technical reason. So here we go. Let's name that jam.
I got it.
God,
I know you got it, Coop.
I find this.
There's a technicality here.
I find this game so annoying when I know the song, but I don't know what it is. When I recognize the music.
Yeah, well, this was a layup for me.
See, I was right.
I'm not sure what the catch is though, but I know I got this one.
This is the catch, Coop. I'll show you. This is the catch. That is not the correct answer.
Nope, absolutely not.
That's the catch. That's the catch. Hey, do you need it again?
I know the song. It's yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally know the song now, but I don't know the catch now.
See, we got a lot of. We got it.
No.
We got a few.
Someone got it.
We got a few. Got it.
Someone got it. Yep.
But let's take it away. This is. Oh, wait a minute. I left a comment up. Let me get that real quick. All right, it's time to find out that jam. Here we go.
Just like my love, everlasting. Oh, and the beat goes on.
I
had both for that one.
I was in the Will Smith.
You were in the Will Smith Miami.
A lot of people.
I said there was a technicality to this one.
I didn't even catch the Will Smith part till I started seeing the answers come up with that. I mean, I knew it was Whispers and the Beat Goes On with that one.
I know you're a Whispers guy. We talked about that.
Yep, exactly, yeah.
Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. This
Coop, once again, naming that jam. Congratulations to everybody out there who got it right. This segment brought to you by the fine folks over at Avo Cigars. Their Avo Winter Selection is out and has been selling very well. So if you haven't tried it, go check it out on smokein.com. The new Avo Winter Selection.
Nice job with those seasoned cigars.
Actually. Yeah, and I think the winter rounded it out, right? That was the last one.
I haven't smoked the winter. That's the last one I got smoked.
They started with the spring.
In fact, we had one product page that had them all listed in advance, and we just kept adding.
Yeah,
we knew the seasons were coming out. So
yeah,
that was brought to you by the fine folks at Avo Cigars. Let's see here. What else we got here?
Not much. Just a little chat. We're gonna chat it up. But there was it wasn't in the news.
So I was gonna say I didn't even hear about this.
It wasn't in the news, but in Coop's news, but I added it here. There was a resolution introduced, right? Coop,
yeah. In fact, we're behind on that. We do the CRA because we had a lot of infrastructure stuff issues at Coop this week. So a lot of stuff.
Right, you had to.
Yeah, we had equipment problems. We had actually a big website issue no one knew about. So yeah, we had two big issues this week. So yeah, they have a resolution they've introduced right now.
Yeah, to exempt premium cigars from FDA regulation. Now,
not a surprise. It's not a surprise. They just hadn't done they've done it before.
Right.
They use that kind of as to keep the conversation going, kind of a deal.
Right.
Yeah.
That's the way I understand it. But there is some bipartisan support in this.
There always has been. In fact, they've been doing this for about every 2 years. They do it. They introduce it, and they did it. The first time they did it was in 2011. They actually had a working majority of it.
Really?
Yeah, they actually had a working majority, but it's kind of other things that started to take priority over it, and it's now it's more or less they have it out there, and it's a conversation piece that they use more. So I wouldn't expect it to advance at all.
Right. I don't think so. I mean, it never. But that's an interesting point you bring up. This is you feel like they kind of do this to at least keep it in the conversation.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So when someone walks into an office, it creates awareness with it. And hey, if someone co-sponsors it, it kind of is their kind of stamp on it, saying we back this, right?
Right.
So they do that. When it was funny because when these were floating around about 10 years ago. Like, for example, Harry Reid, who everyone would think is the biggest enemy.
I'm sorry. We have a kitchen sink that's falling off the counter into the thing, and that was
they went to sleep on us.
No, I was on my phone. That was the contractor sending something, letting me know that he's sending over some of the house between 1 and 2 today. So I'm trying to text my wife.
So go ahead, cool.
You're to be home. Sorry about that.
No good. So Harry Reid, for example,
I look like I was sleeping.
Yeah, you did.
Like Harry Reid, everyone would think was an enemy of the cigar industry, right? He was actually someone supporting a lot of this legislation, but he just wouldn't put his name on it, right? But I've seen, like, for example, I saw a lot of pictures with people in the industry with Harry Reid. And I one day just asked Glenn Loop about it, and he kind of said, and then basically he told me, yeah, it's just that some of these guys don't want to stick their neck out on it, but they do stuff behind the scenes on it too. So
let me ask you guys a question. Being that we're in the Christmas season, it's December 9th. It's a two-part question. Where are you guys at on your Christmas shopping? And how much of your shopping is done online at this point?
My wife does the majority of it online, and I'm not involved in it at all.
the same with me. The same with me.
I'm seeing the boxes stack up in our bedroom, so I know they're coming in. But we've also simplified it many, many years ago. I'm pretty sure I've talked about this before because we were getting in arguments. I mean, I got one Christmas gift from my parents every year. That was it. I don't understand this list and these pages, and then she tries to fill in. I think early on when we first started having kids, I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? This is absurd. So we've kind of broke it down to the kids get 4 things, right? Something they want, something they need, something to wear, and something to read. That's what they get.
That's a good idea.
4 gifts each.
My kids are all 23 and above. So
you're done.
They get gift cards. I mean, that's what they want. They get gift card. My son-in-law they get a gift card. And my wife and I, we don't really exchange gifts. We maybe we'll pick something out that we want, but then we do kind of a little charity thing behind the scenes. We don't just get a gift for the sake of getting a gift. My wife will do a few stocking stuffers as well.
Oh, the stocking stuffers don't count in our 4 gifts.
Right. I mean, but they're small. They're small, like bars or something like that. My wife tries to find something unusual.
Which, by the way, we have the perfect stocking stuffer available at smoking.com. It's a Guy Fieri 3-pack, holiday pack that's really Christmassy looking, and it goes into a stocking.
The Robustos, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
and
nice.
You can buy it on your own, but if you add it to any order you make, I think it's like half price. So, if you're buying anything on smoking.com, look for that pop-up. You could add it to your cart, a cool little 3-pack stocking stuffer, half price.
Espinosa did a nice job with their samplers this year. They did that prefix sampler. Other one.
That one is exclusively for us.
Okay.
Yeah,
this 3-pack of Corona Gordas is exclusively for
Habano,
us.
yes.
Oh, okay, so you guys got Corona Gordas. They did a
exclusively for us. That was actually in the GQ magazine of November for their gift guide. So
what was in the one you're talking about, Coop?
It's a black one. It's our version, but it's black and it's a different wrapper.
Yeah, it's a different wrap. They did a Guy Fieri one.
Yes, that's ours.
I think they did the Robustos, I think, in one of each.
Yeah. Ours is a red box, different wrapper.
Okay.
And it was literally made exclusively for us.
Yeah, my son is 8 and I'm kind of there with him. Like, he doesn't, it's like game gift cards. He does, besides like the dribble up, there's the basketball, but he doesn't really play with toys anymore.
By the time mine were about 10. There was the game cards they wanted.
Yeah, it's because it's like, how many footballs can you buy? How many more basketballs can you buy? It's like, it's getting tough, man. It's getting tough. The little ones are easy.
My son left a list on the counter that I saw for his mom. It's kind of really funny, right? So he wants a new basketball duffel bag, whatever. I was like, fuck, bro, the only one you got's only like 1 year old, 1.5 years old. I mean, what do you use it? 3 months a year? So I didn't say nothing to him. And then there is some of that childish shit in there. Like, he's still asking for Beyblades, and that was like fucking 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? Like, why are you even still asking for Beyblades?
But see, that's the problem, because you're asking for Beyblades, but am I going to get them and you're going to use them maybe Christmas Day, and then they're going to...
But this is why we limit to what they want. They get one item, because 95% of it is in the garbage.
Yeah, they were playing Beyblades a couple years ago.
Right. So, something to wear, something to need, something they read, it usually is, they last forever, right? They're going to wear it until they outgrow it and, whatever. Yeah. But the need, what they want shit is limited. And then you had a couple other kind of newer things. But then my favorite was big bold print at the bottom. Please, 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 can I get a Nintendo Switch? Because
that's Carmine's influence when he's
because sometimes our boys come together at work and he will snag on that all day long because I haven't allowed game consoles or electronics in my house. My kids have literally grown up without them, you know. So the only exposure he usually will get to it is with Alex's kid or at a friend, and he's been begging forever, but he ain't getting one while I'm living there.
I got game consoles sitting
come
upstairs.
on.
Oh,
Get
they're
him
just
a
like smoking
Switch.
dust.
No, bro. The little doses that he gets with your son and other friends is enough. And let me tell you something. If we get a game, we will have to patrol it 24/7 because this kid could play 24 hours nonstop, non-eat. When we went to Jordan and we flew, and this kid realized they had a game console in his little, airplane seat, dude, I had to force the kid to go to bed. I woke up 8 hours into the flight, 9 hours in the flight. This kid's still up playing. Like, dude, shut it off. You're going to bed. He would have played all night, all the way till he got there. So no, he gets his little doses when he sees his friends and whatever. And for me, that's enough.
Yeah.
All right. I selfishly would like him to get a Switch for him and Carmine to play, but okay.
Listen, I'll get him play remotely or play when they're together.
Yeah, play remotely. They can play remotely online
That's the last
together.
thing I need him to do. This kid plays violin. He's got to do basketball practice. He's gonna have football. He'll get consumed. He'll get consumed. That's my fear. There'll be enough when he gets older and he's developed a lot of other good hobbies that he likes, where when he gets to college, he wants to incorporate a console in his life. Hopefully by then he can't get consumed by it. But I see too many young kids, bro. I go to restaurants and we see the other parents and they're sitting as a family and the kids playing a game console at the dinner table. Like, they can't even sit through a meal without playing a game console. And I just don't want that to be our kids.
Yeah, I get it. It's a balance.
Now I'll tell you what the negativity is too of that. I believe that had he had some exposure to games and being able to play the sport games and the shit like that, he'd have a completely better understanding of some of the sports he's playing. Sure. So there's an upside to it, but how do you control that? Right now at this age, I feel there's way more of a downside of it than there's an upside. So I'm holding on to that front as long as I can.
Listen, I get it for you too. Especially because the Switch is mobile, you can just pick it up and play. Your house is a lot bigger than mine. Who knows where Ash could be hiding in one of the rooms playing for. Carmine, I can see a little easier. Yo, bro, and I'll tell him, listen, it's time to take a break. Go do something else.
Oh yeah, we can. So
you can lose Asher for a couple.
So here's the phenomenon now, right? The older girls, Petra and Zane, right? They're these teenage girls now, whatever. So this is all new, like in the last year, right? They could disappear in their bedrooms now all day. Like, I'll never see them. I literally have to call them downstairs sometimes just to see if they're home and see them, because now they're doing hair, they're doing makeup, they're doing this. We don't allow them to have cell phones upstairs in my house. You cannot have a cell phone upstairs. That's fair. You come home, cell phone stays downstairs. You're not sending anybody fucking pictures from your bathroom, any of that bullshit. Your phone stay fucking downstairs in my house, right? Now, they get smart. They put their AirPods because they want to listen to music. I tell them, get a fucking radio, right? But now they put their AirPods in and leave their phone downstairs and hit play, and they go do upstairs whatever they're doing. But if a friend calls them, they can answer the phone. But right. most of that shit, because we already had kind of a little experience early on with one of the girls, is fucking picture texting. They want to fucking text pictures and shit, and fuck that shit. So yeah, phones stay downstairs in our house.
Good for you. Good for you. I mean,
no, bro, living in my house ain't easy. I gotta produce quality.
I applaud you, Abe, on this. We went through the age. All my kids went through cars, like getting cars. We didn't buy every kid a new car. We gave each kid the same amount of money for a car, towards a car, but it wouldn't pay for a car by any means. They had to kind of earn those pieces.
Sure. Sure.
And they were upset because the kids' parents are buying them brand new cars off the showroom floor. It wasn't like that.
I had with Petra. Petra wanted an iPhone at 7 years old because kids were walking around with $1,000 phones. Who gives a 7-year-old $1,000 phone?
Absolutely not. Yeah, they weren't $1,000, but we were the same way. You're not getting the new. Now I have one of my sons. Now we have someone in the family who works for Verizon, so that makes it a little easier. But yeah,
sure.
Yeah, friends and family is good. It's like,
I'm gonna tell you something too. Whatever it is we're going through with our kids, me, you, Alex, they're gonna have it fucking 10 times worse.
Yep.
The technology and the AI and the shit that's going to be around when they start having kids. That's the only thing that keeps me from going nuts. When they fight me, I'm going to laugh. I hope I live long enough to see you and your kids go through this bullshit.
Right.
Because Petra, when I tell Petra, you'll see, you'll understand one day. She gets so offended by that because it's like, I'm like, I'm telling you, what do you think? You're exempt? It's happened to every human being in the world. They get older and they realize what the fuck their parents were talking about. You think you're going to be exempt from that realization in life? No. But she gets so offended if I bring that up. You'll understand it one day. What are you trying to say? No. Yeah, you will.
You will. Yeah, I mean that's just the way of time,
Yeah, they don't get it. She tries to have this argument with me that I just don't understand the era and the generation. I said, let me explain something to you. That's icing on the cake. The cake stays the same since the beginning of time.
Right.
There are some things that are just universal. It doesn't change. It's the same shit. Might be different colored frosting, might be different flavoring on the frosting, but the cake's the cake and it doesn't change. And when you get older, you'll see what I'm talking about. Oh, she hates that speech. Hates it.
That is the way of the world.
What is a wow?
That's World of Warcraft. Vince
yeah.
I got into that a little bit for like a minute.
Yeah, for like 10 seconds.
Yeah.
I got into that for a minute. Man.
Yeah, my kid is he's a Fortnite kid. He likes his Fortnite. But that's what it is. Give me what do you want for V-Bucks? So, here's the thing. Here's what bothers me.
Fortnite they could play on an iPad, right?
No. Fortnite you need a console.
You need a console.
There's something on an iPad because I know there's one game because he's got an iPad for his dribble up, and that's how he calls me because he doesn't have a phone with stuff. So, I know there's one game that he plays on an iPad.
See, I think you can play it remotely because that was the whole thing, Alex, when Gabe Kapler was letting the Phillies play Fortnite in the locker room. So I think there is something with that.
Maybe
because that was a big controversy when that came out. They were playing Fortnite in the locker room.
Fortnite is the genius of genius business models. The game is free. They make their billions on
the in-app purchases.
The in-app purchases.
The add-ons.
But here's the problem, Abe. We played a lot of World of Tank Blitz and stuff.
Yes.
We play. I do an add-on in the game. I spent $3-4. It's to level something up to get something better. These kids just want the skins.
Right.
Doesn't do anything. Doesn't make you any better in the game. They just want the look.
And you only could get so far in the game without getting those add-ons.
The mobile get 100% at some point.
Yeah.
If you want to keep playing. But these, my son wants $3 to get the cool outfit. It doesn't help. It doesn't make him better. It doesn't shoot any faster. Doesn't give him any more health.
Yeah.
It just looks cool, and that's how they make their money. And billions and billions of
little
add-ons,
$2 and $3 things add up.
Yep, $3, $5, $10.
Yep.
Yes. So, in those situations, I almost don't mind it a little bit. Like, listen, if I don't got to pay for the game, all right, cool, I'll give you a couple bucks. But if I got to pay $60 for the game and you're asking me to pay more after the fact, the hell with you. You got my money. It's I feel the same way. I feel the same way about like apps that I use on my phone. If I had to pay for the app, you're not getting a review. I already paid for it. That's my review. I gave you money for the app.
Right, exactly.
Right? I'm not paying you and reviewing the app for you too.
Yeah.
Listen, they just realized that the $2 to $3 charges is way better off than selling a game for $60.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Look, it's one of those things, like I just said, Dribble Up should just give every kid a free basketball.
Right.
If you sign up for the monthly membership, here's the basketball.
$17 or something. $15
$16 a month. $16 a month.
Yeah, give the ball away.
Now you give the ball away. So I've said for years, okay, does anybody, and this is an old number in my head, so it's a decade probably plus, but does anybody know what the most expensive liquid in the world is? Or was? I mean, I'm going back. Stuff has changed in my industry. What is the most expensive liquid in the world?
I don't know what you're getting at here.
I'm getting at what is probably the most expensive liquid in the world in its natural state.
Its natural state.
ST DuPont fuel.
I know.
Okay. So, do you remember when they had the color cartridges, those little tubes? It was like 0.005 milliliters of gas. It was sold for $5. If you factored it out, it made a gallon of that fluid like $3,700 a gallon. All right. If I was ST DuPont, I'd be giving out free DuPonts on every fucking corner.
And then you get them. Yeah, I know.
$3,700.
I go through those.
It was like literally $3,700 for a gallon of ST DuPont fuel.
It's ridiculous. I mean, and you go through it fast. Let me tell you.
And they're geniuses with it.
Hold on.
If
What do
you
you
get
mean
into
go
line
so fast?
twos, if you get into line twos, you got it. This color will only fill up
Yes,
this lighter.
yes.
This color will only fill up that
I know
lighter.
guys who actually like rigged it, would cut the cap off the screw top and put it in there so they could use the regular butane fuel in it because it had a screw thing that you just couldn't penetrate unless you had the right canister. Now, what are you talking about? Half the time people wasted a whole can because they couldn't get it in right. So, you know, you'd unscrew it and half the fuel still be coming out of the can because it's a pressure to pressure system.
I just went through this.
So
I know.
If the pressure in the lighter equals the pressure in the fuel, nothing's pushing the fuel in.
Yeah.
So you had one of two choices. If you really wanted to optimize and get every drop of fuel out, you had to put your lighter in a freezer to let that get low. So when you squeeze the warm can, it would suck it in. And half the times when customers would bring me a lighter to fill it up for them in shop, I'm not going to ask them to put in the freezer and wait 20 minutes. So I would screw in the canister and I would take a flame and heat the fuel. And they would look at me like it's nuts. Like, that's the only way you're going to push the fuel into the fucking lighter. Half the people wasted that fuel. But someone tell me what's more expensive than $3,700 a gallon. I could be wrong, but literally the most expensive.
I should have asked Les. I had Les on the other night. I should have asked him that question.
Literally the most expensive liquid I've ever come across when you do the math. I remember I did it one day. I'm like, this is absurd.
It's expensive, those canisters. I have two now. I have two DuPonts, and I'm telling you, I have to get two different ones because I have the problem.
I would literally be giving out DuPonts on every corner. Here you go.
There you go. Yeah.
Want a free lighter? Here's a free lighter. Yeah. Go pay $5 for my little.
Give out a mini jet. You just give out a mini jet. You just give out a mini jet is all you need to do. Right. I mean,
yes.
Right. You got
you know, it's funny you brought that up. I found this in my drawer. I've been using it. It's a really old mini jet. It's been out for years.
Yeah.
They do make good lighters.
They'll work.
They do.
They make good lighters.
Yeah. They do.
I don't think milk is going to be $3,700 a gallon.
No,
I hope not.
No.
Maybe in like Venezuela.
You know what's a phenomenon that's mind. I don't understand the psychology of it. You know, maybe I haven't really seen anybody talk about it, or just maybe no one gives a shit and no one knew it until after COVID. But there just seems to be no threshold anymore to pricings where consumers will get up in an uproar. Eggs went through the roof. Fucking eggs were selling out. Eggs were selling out in the store. Gas goes about. Nobody gives a shit. Prices just keep going up, and consumers will complain. Doesn't mean they'll stop buying. And it's opened the floodgates for these companies to say, "Oh, I mean, look, in our downside of our industry, or this type of industry, is look, we all sell the same shit. So you're following a manufacturer's guideline. We don't have that liberty. You say we're just going to charge more because everything else is going up, and companies have been doing that this last 2-3 years.
They don't.
Everything's going up. We're going to raise our prices. Consumers are paying for it, and they're not raising it because technically they have to, or their costs have gone up, or they're raising it more than they need to because consumers are just like and I don't know if they were that way before COVID, but companies have discovered it after COVID and realized, hey man, there's really no threshold anymore because everything keeps going up. Houses doubled in price, and guess what? People were still buying fucking houses in Florida.
Yeah.
Nothing stopped. I don't understand that psychology.
They went to car prices too.
Oh yeah,
car price, bro. You can't go to the grocery store and spend $300 and fill a quarter of your fridge anymore.
No, I know.
Like literally, I will see a charge. And I'm like, where the fuck are groceries? You know, I get alerts. So I know my wife went grocery shopping. I come forward. Like, did you give the groceries to another family? No, they're here. So what the fuck you buy?
Yeah, that's very true.
I'll tell you where it really pissed me off because it got astronomical was the barbershop. Barbershop prices skyrocketed.
But how can you blame them? People are buying it. Listen to me. Here's the thing. If we as consumers just don't say stop, I can't blame the business owners.
Right.
I can't. I mean,
so
yeah.
I have a theory with the barbershop. Here was my problem, right? first of all, they're barbers. They don't understand percentages, right? You know, when you raise a haircut from $20 to $30, I mean, that's a 50% increase. But I think the problem was, you know, because barbershops were basically a cash business forever. So those guys never wanted to go from like 20 to 22, because then at 22 you got to have more change, more ones, more. It's 20 to 25 to 30. So the you know, I mean, get a haircut nowadays costs you $40-$50.
Yep.
That's why I started going.
And they're full. I
And they're
can't
full.
even get a haircut in my own shop that I own half of. I mean, look, but you know, here's the thing, and so especially in a barbershop, because I have a little bit of knowledge to it, right? Every seat is full. So what do? You can't sell more haircuts. They have a capacity. So the only thing you could do at that point is you raise your price. And you raise your price 20, 25%. You lose maybe 10, 15% of your clientele. And then you're making the same amount of money. And then you grow it again. And then once every seat is full, you only have so many seats and so many days and so many hours a day. Once that fills up again, you have another price increase. But what's happening is these guys are raising their prices, and that 15 to 20% drop off is not happening.
Well, what are you gonna do? You got to get a haircut. And for some people, but there's the thing too. That's the thing. Like you think about it. You know, you raise your price 20-25%. Like the mark. You know, imagine if Espinosa came out and raised his cigars 20-25%. But what are you gonna do? Because there's it's like, okay, this is getting too high. I've been going to this guy for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. Do I really want to take the time to go figure out?
Find another barber you like.
Find another barber I like.
Yeah,
Fuck it. I'll eat the extra $5-10.
So,
that's the problem.
Here's Rimmer's point.
People would rather pay more than be scared to have it available.
Yeah, chicken wings. Chicken wings. I grew up in a butcher shop. Chicken wings used to always be our cheapest fucking item a pound.
Oh, I know.
Now it's absurd.
It's absurd.
Listen,
yeah.
It is insane. I remember we used to go watch Monday Night Football. They had 10-cent wing nights. Now, if they're $1 a piece, it's a score.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, this wasn't talked about. PCA did a huge increase on dues this year. 33%.
That's heavy.
33%. But now they haven't raised it in a long time either. But still, it was a big increase that happened this year.
But see, that's the problem, and that was the problem with barbershops too. Like, raise it incrementally, because you're going to get a sticker shock when it's like, boom, suddenly we're raising it 30%.
I didn't see people complain about it, because I think the people who are complaining about dues aren't going to go to the trade show to begin with, or join the PCA to begin with. That's why I didn't think it was made it, but it was a big increase. That was it.
Right. But yeah, that's a heavy hit. But you know. Dan LeBeau, that's actually how I justify like my chess spends for my different chess app subscriptions. You know, $15 a month. You know, I smoke a cigar that's $15.
Right.
You know, so
yeah.
I mean, but we gotta live. You know, we gotta live. What are we gonna do? You know.
Exactly.
But while we're waiting for Abe to get back on, it's about that time. Let's find out this week what is the scoop with Coop.
Hey, yo, what's my theme music?
The Scoop with Coop. Breaking industry news. Hear it first on KMA Talk Radio and cigar-coop.com.
So my Chrome just froze up. I wanted to ask, because I don't really know before Coop gets started, is, you know, there was always the super cuts and whatever, which was $6-9 hair. What's a super cut at now? Does anybody know? Or one of these, like, you know, the Thrill No Rift barber shops. That's got to be a $15 to $20 haircut, probably now.
Oh, probably. Let's see. Supercuts services.
Supercuts was a $6 haircut when I was growing up.
Yeah.
A lot more than that.
Yeah, there's not a $6 anything.
I'm just wondering what the no frills low end haircut is these days.
I'm trying to find. Let's see. Here's a supercut.
They're saying 22, 25.
Yeah, I'm seeing supercut Salt Lake. This is, I guess, a Utah, but I see a supercut for $28. Supercut 2, $38.
Jesus, I mean, there you have it.
Yeah, $22.
Yeah,
and that's
the time of $10, $15 haircuts are gone. All right, Coop, you have the floor, my friend. Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're all good. It's a light week, and like I said, on top of that, there were a couple of stories we didn't get to because of the issues we had on Coop this week. But one story is coming from Gurkha Cigars. They are shipping the 25th anniversary of the Gurkha Beauty. So I don't know if folks remember the Gurkha Beauty. This was a cigar. I used to love this cigar, by the way. Came in these frosted tubes. It was a 6.5 by 60 cigar. The 25th anniversary is a different blend. It's a Corojo blend. The original was a Connecticut. And it's still going to come in the frosted tubes. If you looked at that picture, I saw a trend with Gurkha this year at the trade show. They're getting back to the Gurkha packaging. Like they were getting away from that for a few years, and now they're getting more towards the ornate packaging. All the releases this year I saw had the ornate packaging back, and this was one of them. So this is going to be a $30 cigar, 1,000 boxes produced in 25 count boxes. So again, I think they're getting back to the Gurkha cigars we know in terms of the packaging. So
it put them on the map.
What?
Yeah.
It put them on the map.
It put them on the map, you know, and I.
You can say whatever you want about Gurkha. They sell millions and millions and millions of cigars every year.
Yeah, they do. They do. And Gurkha Beauty was actually a really good cigar too that they did. I remember I bought a lot of those. I love those cigars. They weren't $30 back then, but things have changed. So that is starting to hit the stores as we speak. So definitely check that one out. Next story. This is kind of curious on Abe's thought on this one. Not so much of. So there was the PCA announced that Christian Aroa has been elected to the executive committee, which essentially is the board of directors. He's replacing Mike Condor as the manufacturer. I think they called it the manufacturer associate liaison. So that's the one manufacturer that's on the board of directors. Mike was on there for a long time. So now Christian's coming in there to take over starting in March, right at the trade show. They're going to do it. So, the board of directors has always been a controversial thing with PCA because the retailers are on there for like 10 years. They go through like a 10-year cycle.
No. Only the retailers on the executive board of the retailer.
On the executive board. We're talking about the executive
they work
board.
Through the whole 10, 12-year process.
It's 12. You're right. It's 12. I remember saying it is 12.
It used to be more because they used to have an ex officio position, which they got rid of.
No, they still. I've told at least they still have the ex officio position.
I think we got rid of it while I was there, unless they bought it back.
No, because what do you call it? Greg Zimmerman moved into the moved into that position. He was so he's executive officio.
Yeah, it's like 12. I mean, just ridiculous.
Yeah. I don't know. The manufacturer one though, Mike was on there forever, and he doesn't like. I don't know how. It's like I think it's 2-year terms, but he kept going back on there too.
Probably couldn't find another sucker. I mean, look, man. It's a thankless job. It's a job. It's just dysfunctional, and it's tough no matter how you slice it. But
yeah, it definitely is. I mean, look, it's Christian has a lot of other things on his plate, so now he's a part of it, and we shall see what happens. I mean, there were a couple of other. I think they just added someone this year too. Mary Sarmack from Smoker Friendly, I think, was added earlier this year, so she's going to be going through and eventually make her way up to president. It's like you start out, I think, as secretary, then it's treasurer.
Wow!
Vice president,
Hold on. Somebody from Smoker Friendly got on the executive board.
Yeah,
See, I got a problem with that.
Okay.
The smoke, you consider it could have changed, right? A lot of my data is a few years old, but Smokers Friendly don't really have any premium cigar shops.
I couldn't tell you that.
I don't think Smokers Friendly has. They sell cigars, and don't get me wrong, they sell a lot of cigars.
Yeah,
but they're not indicative of what or representative of what the vast majority of our industry is made of.
Those are what do you call it? They're not premium.
They're tobacco outlets, like almost.
They're tobacco outlets, yeah. I don't
know. Tobacco outlets that I'm going to guarantee you 90% of the business is everything but cigars.
They definitely do cigarettes, right?
They're big cigarettes.
So look, I'll read this paragraph. This is from Half Wheel. While most of the PCA board and executive committee members tend to be owner operators of one or a handful of cigar stores, Zarmak works for Smoker Friendly, a decidedly different kind of store than most PCA members. Many of the more than 800 Smoker Friendly locations are franchise stores owned by independent operators through Smoker Friendly, though Smoker Friendly owns a number of these stores. Furthermore, most Smoker Friendly locations are focused on selling all different types of tobacco products instead of the majority of PCA members, which tend to be cigar-focused stores.
It's not indicative or representative of what the association is there for and protecting. Why? Look, I'd have no problem if they were on the board, do a 3-year tenure like the rest of us.
Right.
I just don't agree with them being on the executive board and dictating the shape. And I'm not, this isn't insulting to anybody at Smokers Friendly. They're good people. They're great people. But
they're great. Yep.
Let's just call it for what it is. Someone's going to be making decisions in what shapes this organization, which makes decisions a lot for what our industry does for the next 12 to 14 years. Right. And they're not even representative of what this industry or this association in particular is for and protecting and representing. So, yeah, that doesn't fly well with me.
It is, and it's like I said, that's a long term that someone's on there for. It's a powerful group. This is you're right. They shape a lot. There's the board members, but this executive committee, like I said, they have a lot of power. So
it's a long time to have someone making
Scott
decisions.
Pierce works for them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a long time to have someone making decisions. It's not really indicative of.
Yeah, I'm not familiar. I'm familiar with the stores, but there's not any in my area. They're more in the West, I think, those stores. So I'm not as familiar with them.
And most of what they sell are the bundles, the low. I mean, they have some.
They do Rocky Mountain, though, don't they? Do the Rocky Mountain cigar?
They do. They do. They're because they sell cigars, but as a model. What most of their places, I know through some manufacturers of what their products are buying is makeup is, but it's mostly bundle cigars. They're not really high end premium cigar stores. So, which is basically any tobacco outlet. Outside of cartons of cigarettes, they're selling volumes and volumes of low end stuff. They're not selling high end stuff. So, interesting. Sorry, Coop. Go ahead.
No, that was what I was going to say on that. Yeah, so that was the that was the other change that happened this week as far as that went with Christian.
Anything else in the news?
One other story. Quality Importers made an announcement. They have a new Stinky ashtray. It's called the Stinky one-piece ashtray. It's a 8-inch in diameter by 2.5-inch bowl. It's got the stirrups. You can see it's got the stirrups that kind of built into the edge of the ashtray.
Yeah, I was going to say the nicest ashtray because nothing will actually break off this.
Right, exactly. So they say these things float in a pool too. You can actually put them in the pool and they float. So
I'd like to know how many Stinky ashtrays you ever saw with all the stirrups still on it.
Oh,
that wasn't brand new. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I remember. I just see people in the store. They pull on them and stuff.
It's literally the staple of a Stinky ashtray that is missing some stirrups.
Stirrups, exactly.
But I see people pick it up by the stirrup. That's not what it's meant for.
Right.
It's not what it's meant for, but it would become indicative of what a Stinky ashtray is.
Yeah.
They have to have 1 or 2 missing stirrups on the ashtray.
Yeah.
And it's really bad because we got little mini ones in our store. They only have 2 stirrups. So when you lose one, man, it's like, fuck.
It's done.
It's a 1-person ashtray.
No, I'll tell you what was really bad, Abe. We had it in West Palm for a long time. We had to replace it. But we had the really big one that had a ton of stirrups.
The Earth one, yeah.
But, after 5, 6, 8 of those, suddenly there's so much space between stirrups.
Yeah. These aren't badly priced at $29.99. So
no, that's not bad. $29.99.
They're not bad priced at all. You got some different colors in there. So yeah, they're hitting the stores now. So
you're asking the right guy there. If anybody would know, it's him.
Yeah. I haven't tried floating in a pool. I don't know. So So
anything else?
No, but let me audible one thing because you weren't here last week, and we did talk about Fuente Padron leaving the Dominican Republic. Is what I want to say.
It's the 9th now. It's still no word yet.
So it supposedly they left the Dominican on Thanksgiving. We don't have much of it.
It's going to be here before Christmas, 1,000%.
So you, because I'm getting worried, Abe. I'm getting worried. I may lose
They would
this.
have never. They listen to me. There's certain things you have to understand. First
Right.
off, just for the record, all right, you're getting a signed $5 bill from me, but psychologically and mentally, this is a win in my column as far as I'm concerned. I was way closer to the truth, the fact of the matter.
Well, you have to draw the line somewhere. Like I said, we have to draw the line somewhere.
Listen, I get it, but I
Yeah.
mean, coming out December 24th, it may as well have been 2024. I was
Did I
right.
sweat this out? Absolutely.
I was right and basically said you weren't going to see this till 2024 when they released it 2.5 years ago. Talking about 2.5 years ago. So, I mean, it's definitely a win in my column because I was more accurate. I was a longer shot, but they would have never, ever, ever talked about it unless they were 1,000% sure it was going to get.
I mean, Carlito sent me. Carlito gave me that story, right? And I ran with it, but then I started thinking about this. I'm like, because Perdomo did the same thing with the 30th. They announced it was due to Nicaragua.
I know Carlito was knowledgeable. This could be true. It could have influenced the outcome.
I know Carlito was in. I know Carlito was aware of the bet. By the way, I know Carlito and Abe.
I know he was too.
Yeah, Jose was telling me Carlito's aware of the bet. So
I know he was too.
I mean, there still is some room for error here, right?
Listen,
No?
it's 10 business days. We got
customs.
The only room for error is a catastrophic one. Either customs, fire, loss. That's the only.
I did not claim any victory. I was really low key on it. I'm like, okay, they shipped. It's a good sign. Don't get me wrong. But now it's 10 business days, basically.
I claimed, and I'm going to call it a concession. I've conceded more than I'm going to call this a defeat. It was a concession.
And I'm not claiming. I'm like the guy at the election. I'm not. I'm not going to make a speech yet.
I'm just telling you.
But I'm saying that I mean we don't have word that it's actually landed in the States yet, right? I mean, there's still room.
I've had bets where I've been dead wrong. In fact, you and I made a bet. As soon as I realized what the price point or something, I said, "Oh, I lost this bet before it even." Before we even started the bet, right? It was some release of how many we were going to sell.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what the price was. Yeah. But this, I mean, basically, I called it two. No one said this was going to take almost 3 years to get out. No one. I said you'd be lucky if you see this until 2024.
Yeah.
To call something that far out and be off by a couple weeks.
See, I was confident because of the Father's Day thing, right? So I said that's why when I made
the Father's Day thing, they've missed 2 of them already.
Missed 2 of them, I know.
Yeah. Because look, I know one of those, each one individually on their own, takes so much time to do something like this.
Yeah.
Now put 2 different companies together, 2 different families.
Actually, 3. Actually, 3 because Newman's involved with this too. Now you think
there you
about
go. So
yeah, it's
3 different companies and 3 different families. I saw no way that this was going to come out anytime quick.
I'm sweating this though. I got to be honest. I'm not claiming any victory here. Look, Abe, if it doesn't show up, you win. I mean, if it's
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
But the only thing that I'm telling you, they would have never bought it up unless it was going to be out before the holidays. And listen, it could be the last week. I mean, but the only thing that keep this from it being a win from you, like I said, is some catastrophic
customs or catastrophe.
Unforeseen event. Because otherwise, they just wouldn't talk about it. They wouldn't have bought it up before the holidays. Factories closing for 2 weeks. Nobody's doing there for 2 weeks.
See,
they would have just waited till they reopened to start talking about it.
Abe, you I think missed the show that week, the Big Smoke weekend, because I thought they were going to announce it was shipping at the Big Smoke, and when it didn't happen, I'm like, I think I'm going to lose this bet. I'm like, because of the factory schedule and all that. So I was convinced I was going to lose the bet at that point.
But it's to my point. It's to my point that they wouldn't have talked about it until they knew they really were going to get it.
Yeah.
And probably at that point they still weren't sure. Still weren't sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, it's encouraging, but I'm going to let it play out. Is what I'm saying. I'm just.
Alex, you got time for a Would You Rather, or are we going to sign out?
Do you have one?
Oh, no, I thought, no.
Oh, no, I didn't have one. I named that jam this week.
Well, I thought okay, we're good. Anyways, it's 12:02. We've done our 2 hours. We hope you enjoyed this Saturday, had fun. Good way to start your Saturday. Thank you for joining us. Check out us on Facebook, on Instagram. Join us at Smoking Social, our private Facebook group, if you haven't done so already. Great Smoke tickets are flying off the shelves. It's going to be an epic year this year. And what else am I missing? Summer, the holidays.
Soccer is rolling along.
Full effect. Tons of stuff. Win Epic Chick. Check us out on smoking.com. I won't be here next week, but the boys will, and then we'll see you.
Well, at least me and Koopo, we don't know.
Well, yeah,
it still remains to be seen.
Who knows with him?
Have a great weekend, everybody. Till next week, everybody. Keep it lit.